Hey, Lulu.
Hey, you here, Bob?
I made it.
Yay.
I hustled back.
Yay.
So Pam has a quick question. Is delicata squash winter or a winter squash?
I think I've heard conflicting things about it, so I would call it a summer. Call it a summer.
I just discovered. I just tried it. Yeah, I just tried it, Lulu, and I'm in love with it.
Oh well, yeah.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's very, very
Yes.
good. Yeah, and I think it's like I've read conflicting things on it.
Yes, that's what I read.
It's like then they say like, well, it's technically a summer, but it's more like a winter, or it's technical. It's just like, you know something.
Right.
Just keep it simple and call it a summer.
Well, I like that answer.
You know, if you're eating 16 ounces of that, like
I wouldn't. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that.
yeah, if you did that, like, and it's borderline a winter squash, like, and then if your weight was not budging, it might be that.
Yeah,
you know, that's
because it is sweet. So I would think it would be one of those things that should probably be limited just because it's very sweet.
Yeah, it is sweet.
So I don't know. Does it have a lot of natural sugars or?
Yeah, just enjoy it.
Well, I am.
Yeah, that's right. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Here we have it. Ready? Hello and welcome to Lulu's Way. Healthy food, healthy life. My name is Lulu. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be your host this evening. In order to keep this meeting free from distraction, we ask that all in attendance please mute yourselves unless you're speaking. We also ask that you keep the video mode turned off if you're doing anything other than sitting and participating in this meeting so that we can minimize distraction. In this community, we gather to support, encourage, and inspire on the benefits of nutrition, weight loss, wellness, and the joy that comes from choosing to serve yourself well. We're not medically trained, nor do we have a formal training in nutrition. We come together here for the sole purpose of providing support, sharing experiences, and promoting a healthy lifestyle. It may be wise to check with your healthcare professional with any dietary suggestions or advice you receive from this group's discussion, particularly if you have health challenges. Individuals in this group may have different ideas on how to eat healthy. Just figure out what works best for you and do it your way. Okay, so what I would like to talk about today is a little bit about the food plan. I get a lot of comments and also private emails about the food plan being like too much food. You know, I don't know. Too much food isn't even in my vocabulary. Let's just stop there. But I know, like, you know, we can have, like, you know, 4 bowls of ice cream, but not 16 ounces of veggies, you know. And I know, like, some people have, like, stomach issues, and maybe it is about the fiber, and maybe they do need to build up to it. I'm not saying force it down. I'm just saying, what I'm saying is that just really look at it. Like, do you not want to finish it because it's not what you want? You know, do you feel like you have to force it down because, you know, you're used to having a bowl of pasta that big and it's just not as delicious to you? You know, I would invite you to just pay attention to the reason why. I would never tell anybody eat it, but I just eat it just fine. And more, I eat more than what's on that food plan because I'm in my maintenance phase. But another thing is I wanted to talk about was if anybody's hungry, and people are talking about being hungry because, you know, to not eat in between meals. And I always say there's just 3 things to look for, 3 things to ask yourself when you're sitting there in between meals and you're thinking, oh, I'm hungry. I have people that say, I follow this food plan and I can't even eat all the food. I follow this food plan and I'm hungry. So it's like, you know, it's like all over the place. And I don't know why you're hungry, and I don't know why you can't eat it. Like, I don't know. I'm not trained in this. I just know what works for me. But I always say, if you're telling yourself that you're hungry, ask yourself 3 questions. Am I dizzy? Do I feel dizzy? Do I feel lightheaded? Or do I feel weak? You don't want to feel any of those things on a diet. And I've been on plenty of diets in my life where I have been dizzy, lightheaded, or weak because I was starving myself so that I could lose weight fast, because fast was better, until I learned that I have an audience at the beach. I've learned that I had my sliding door open because it's a little warm, and this woman was looking right at me. She's probably wanted to grab a seat and have a seat right outside my van. You know, fast was always better. Like, I want the diet that's going to take this weight off quick. I want it off now. Even though I've been overweight most of my life, I need it off now. It doesn't even make any sense. It's just a nice slow release, especially when there's no big prize dangling at the end. There's no carrot dangling at the end. You know, it's not about that stuff. It's not about getting into that dress for a wedding, or you know, getting into those jeans that you wore 10 years ago. That's all great when that happens, but it's like, the point is to just start taking good care of yourself, you know, and just really feel good about the fact that you're taking good care of yourself, and then that will happen along the way. So if you're not dizzy, lightheaded, or weak, I would say, if you could really identify hunger, like just say your stomach's growling, well, yeah, you probably, chances are it's almost time for mealtime. If you're eating that much food, you know, that's 16 ounces of veggies and 4 ounces of protein and a tablespoon of oil for lunch, that's a lot of volume. You shouldn't be, I don't think that your stomach's going to be growling an hour later, but maybe 3 hours later or 4 hours later, when it's coming upon dinner time, you might be hungry. But I always say, when I get to that point where I feel some hunger, that's probably where I'm going into reserve to burn for energy, you know. So it's kind of cool when that happens, because it doesn't really hurt. You know, hunger doesn't hurt. It's not pain. When you really think about it, we all go, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm so hungry. And it's just like you're going to be dropping over dead from hunger. You know, it's like, it's not really true. It's not true. It's, you know, for me, it's like just a God-given signal that my body gives me, just giving me the heads up. It's almost time for some more fuel, you know, and it doesn't have to be now, but it's kind of like the gas light. When the gas light goes on, you don't need gas right this minute, but you need gas, you know. And another thing people ask me about is people wanting to alter the food plan. Well, I don't want that much, or there's nothing wrong with having a piece of fruit at lunch too, and you know, because it's good for you, and then I have a piece of fruit at dinner. You know, it's not like somebody said that to me, and that, like, well, I'm doing it like 90% because I have a piece of fruit at lunch. Just say that was it. To me, you're either doing 90% of what I do, or you're doing 100% of what's going to work for you. But the question to ask yourself is it working? So like, if you're having that extra, or you decided to throw a snack into your food plan, or you decide that you want more of something, and you just, you know, less veggies and more protein, whatever you decide that you want, first of all, ask yourself why you need to change it. Like, how is it really going to make your life better, you know? And then the question is it working? Because, like, if you take what's proven to work and make your own little tweaks so that you don't have to maybe suffer as much, because it's really not suffering, but if you see it as suffering, it's going to feel like suffering. So you tweak it all. You decide, like, well, I'm going to use popcorn as a grain because it is corn, and I'm going to use popcorn as a grain. So now you're having popcorn. Try weighing and measuring that, and then stopping. Good luck on that, right? Once you start going on that stuff, that's why it's just like, just let it go. I don't want there's no snack I want to own my life and own my attention, you know? So, but if you're doing that, and you feel peaceful, feel peaceful, you're not struggling all day with trying to do the food plan, and you're getting the results you want, whatever that is. Better health. You want your aches and pains to go away. You want to lose weight, whatever they are, because there's all kinds of goals we have here, you know. As long as you're getting closer to your goal, or whatever that goal is. Oh, I'm feeling better. Oh, I've been doing this for 3 weeks. I don't feel better. I've been doing this for 3 weeks. I haven't lost a pound. Well, perhaps what you're doing isn't working. So the first question I would ask is, are you doing the food plan like it's outlined? That's the starting point. Not because you should, but that's one that I know that I've seen work for many people. So I've never seen that not work for somebody. So, you know, when people are like, oh, I've been following the plan and I'm not losing any weight. Well, are you following it 100%? Yeah. So you're not eating one bite in between. Well, you know, then it's like, well, you know, and then, you know, well, sometimes I don't have time for lunch, so then I have extra at dinner. So it's like, so you're not following it 100%. So like, that's the answer to that question. It doesn't mean that you're bad. I'm not trying to say shame on you for not following it, but it's like, you're asking me why you're not getting results. So I need to pin you down. I need to pin you down so I know exactly what you're doing, so I can answer your question. You know what I'm saying? And then, so when I just narrow it down, it's like, so you're not following it. So perhaps you might want to try doing that first, and then we'll see if it doesn't work, you know? So just be careful of any kind of modifications that you want to make. Not that this is the only way. Like I always say, this is Lulu's way. You can find your way. Your way might be the same as me, but your way might look different. But just always keep an eye on what you're trying to achieve, and if you're getting closer to that every day, as you're doing this, as you're putting all this time and effort into shopping and cooking and preparing beautiful things, and now if you're going to start to mismanage it all, like for what? You know, for what? Like it's just not that important, you know? What's really important is that I feel peaceful all day long. Like I don't want to be trying to, you know, redesign something that works. You know, if it works, keep doing it. If it's not working, just question yourself. And it's just about being honest with yourself. Like, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? What do you want? What do you want? What are you doing to get there? You know? So, you know, this is why I suggest that you weigh in once a month. Because even that stuff can own you. The scale used to own me. You know, I would get up in the morning, I'd pee, and then I'd stand on it, and then I'd be like in the middle of like making my breakfast, and I'd have to pee again. So I was like, oh well, I'm gonna weigh again, because that must have been at least like 4 or 5 or 6 ounces. That's almost a half a pound, you know. Always trying to look to weigh less, you know. Like what would that even mean? It was pee. It wasn't even fat. And then I'd be like, oh, good job, Lulu, you lost another half a pound. Like, really? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. But I did that for most of my life, so I totally get it, you know. But today, I just, once a month, and now I left my house in December. I don't have a scale, so I haven't weighed myself since December. And I have been, I would say, less active than I usually am. I'm like killing the beach bum role. Like I am like total beach bum. A+. And usually when I come to Florida, I walk the beach every day. I'm meeting people for hikes and going, I don't know, I just don't feel like it. I'm not with hikers, but you know something? I can do it by myself, but it's not like, I don't do that anymore for like weight loss and weight management. I do it when I want to, and most of the time I want to, and I don't seem to want to, so I don't. So if I go home, all my clothes feel the same. They all feel the same. My head can tell me that I have a few pounds on, because I think that I haven't weighed for a while, and I haven't been active. And so my head can tell me that I've put on a few. I can feel that I've put on a few, but my clothes feel the same. So I don't even know what's true, because I've like fired myself from that job. Some people that say like, oh, I don't have to weigh in. I can just tell. Well, I can't tell, because my fat head can make me fat. My head can also make me. I've had months where I'm like, oh, I know I'm down, and I bet you I'm down low enough that I'll have to add more food. I bet you I'm out of my range. That's what it felt like. I felt really skinny, and then I step on the scale and it's like up a pound. I'm like, I know nothing. So I just use that that scale as a tool, as just a tool to measure my where I'm at and what I need to do next. And I just that one thing, I'm not going to trust myself in what I think. I hope that each of you find what works for you, and just really take a good look at what you're doing, and if in fact you're getting the reason for all your time and effort and money spent on beautiful, beautiful groceries and weighing and measuring things and whatever you're doing. If you're not getting the results and you've redesigned it a little bit, you just might want to look at that design. Is just my message today, because I would just love to see you all attaining what it is that you want to achieve, whatever that is. For everybody, some people are just happy with the weight that they're at. They just want their inflammation to go away. They're tired of being in pain, and there's so much food that's just inflammatory, and it's just all this processed food is just keeping everybody inflamed and in pain. And even if you just achieve that, so that's what I have for today. I hope that was helpful to anybody or everybody. And Barb, would you like to?
That was a great message. I know. For me, I got rid of the inflammatory foods, the dairy, the wheat, the gluten, and the sugar, and the processed foods. Those four things just made all the difference. And we saw it in the people posting this week. Their pain is diminished, right? Somebody posted that. And so, it's good to see people seeing positive results. Anyway, a lot of good posts this week. I really enjoyed reading them all. And I think it was either Nicole or Pam. They said, I'm just in it, and I know it's going to take time, but I feel good now, and I feel like I have clarity. Good stuff. Excellent. Thank you, Lulu. Sure. One other thing, too, I wanted to say. I wish that I had your resolve and could do the once a month weigh-in, but the scale has me still. I am locked in on, like, if I don't do the Monday weigh-in, I only do it once a week. Yeah. And I was doing it twice a week, so I've gained a little ground. But that should be a huge goal for me, is to do that. Maybe I should go like twice a month, like a small wean from the scale. But my mind is so around data that I don't know.
That just might be Barb's way, as long as it doesn't feel cuckoo. You know what I mean? If it feels cuckoo.
No, I feel like it keeps me on track. Otherwise, I start thinking, have I gained weight? Did I mess something up? Did I have too much of this? I still play those games in my head. So,
and maybe you just need more time to actually see that nothing really much, when you're on maintenance, nothing really much happens each week on the scale. It's probably staying the same, up and down. If you're staying in that range,
it's like, 1 pound up, 1 pound down, 1 pound up. It's like this for the last 4 months.
Yeah. Yep.
I just need to own it and say, you're okay, Barb. Like you do when you're down in Florida.
Yeah.
Yep. So
December,
but even
January, February, March. Yeah. So I'm going on like 4 months.
But even your head gets a little like, oh my gosh, you know, all the clothes fit good, right? You said, but you still feel like, oh, maybe I gained weight, right?
Because I'm not looking once a month.
Because you're not looking.
And you're feeling like
right.
that once a week. But maybe you'll transition into that, or maybe you'll just do it once a week. Maybe that will just be Barb's way.
Yeah.
If you're a data person, you know.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
I wish it was once a month. Okay. Anyway.
So first is Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi,
Mary.
Yeah, it's Florida, all right. It's 85 over here in the middle of the state. It's pretty toasty.
It's toasty here too. Oh boy.
I too have given up, as Barb, the gluten, the sugar, the lactose or dairy free. I'm alcohol free, cigarette free.
Nice.
And I found that if I don't have caffeine in the morning, these have been revelations to me, because I pick apart everything I eat and the result of. It's just what I do. And if I don't have caffeine in the morning, if I have decaf, I don't get that morning low. I don't get that craving for a snack or the 10 o'clock coffee break as we used to have it. I don't have that anymore. I have this amazing energy that is unbelievable. People have said I've lost weight. I do not have a scale either. I put in about 4 to 5 hours a day of work, and then I have to be careful that I don't get too tired or I'm too thirsty because it's hot. So all of these, it's an hourly thing for me. It's if my banana is too ripe in the morning, that's a sweetness that I get a craving at 10 or 11 o'clock. So I, have a drink of water and wait for lunch. But it's a daily thing for me. I can't go into a week or a month or I have to stay within my day. Maybe it's the habit I've gotten from AA, where I just do what's in front of me for that day and be grateful. And I think that the caffeine and the honey, I was reluctant to give up honey for the longest time. And I'm off it probably 3 to 4 weeks now. And that set up a craving in the middle of the morning. So that's out of the question now. So it's really a process for me, a learning process, and what gives me the joy, and I like this. I think this is pretty okay. 85 degrees and all, but yeah, thanks.
Great, Mary. Mary, I'm just so impressed with how you're so in tune with yourself. You're paying such close attention to when I have this is what happens. When I have this, I feel like this. Right. So, you're just most of us are just shoveling things in, not even paying attention. It's just, you are really in tune with yourself. How cool is that?
Well, I think I've gone through so much digestive upset with the gluten and the dairy that and for so many years on that, I just have to be careful. There's all these hidden stuff in, whatever you pick up at the grocery store. You have to read all the labels.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of people that need to be careful, but they're not careful. So just because you need to be careful doesn't mean people are careful, because people are hurting themselves with food all day long, and but you're doing it, you're killing it. I'm really excited for you.
I hope so.
Yeah, you look nice.
Thank you.
You get a nice smile, and it's always nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Have a good evening.
Mary, you feel better, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, but I think that was the gluten that helped me there. I really do. I'm off at 3 years now, and it definitely has made a big difference in me.
Wow.
Yeah, my blood pressure, everything. I mean, it's amazing what that did. So.
And did you say you're off sugar too?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
But when I gave up the honey 3 weeks ago, that's when I started looking to make sure I didn't have You know, I might have my fruit half a banana in the morning and then put the other half on my peanut butter and rice cake for lunch. Just because I think it makes my blood sugar, I'm not diabetic, but I think it makes me more even. You know, I'm trying that. I mean, it's, you know, it'll switch next week maybe, but right now that's working.
Good for you.
Great job.
Yeah. Next is Marissa. Hi, Marissa.
Hi, everyone. I hope
Hi.
you're doing well there.
Good to
I
see
have
you.
to say,
Hey,
I
Marissa.
have no idea what I'm doing, and I gave up completely. So I never go on the scale, like never, because that's fearful for me. I don't want to see numbers. But I had to go to do a workshop in Miami for International Women's Day weekend. So I was gone for 4 days. But I forced myself to get on the scale before I went, and I had gained like 3 pounds, and I was really ticked off and annoyed because I had to go away and I got to wear clothes, and now I put this 3 pounds on. I don't even know how. And I get down there and they have a chef, and the chef is making like food like as if you haven't eaten in 10 years. And it was just spread everywhere. And I was really concerned, and I really watched what I ate. I tried to have like all the vegetables and the fruits. And I don't understand. I came back and I lost 5 pounds. So I just gave up everything now because I don't understand any of it. I don't even understand how it happened because I thought I was eating too much when I was there. And yet I lost 5 pounds. So I don't know why this happened, but I can't figure it out. And I used my own scale. Like I came back and weighed on my own scale. It was not a different scale. It was not a different time. It was just the same thing that I did before I left. I did once I came back, and I was gone a total because I had to stay closer to the airport. I was gone like a total of a week. And I don't know. I just don't understand. I totally give up now because I guess I'm just going to go on the scale whenever because I'm nervous now. You know, it fluctuates too much. I don't know if anybody else has that problem.
Yeah, because like if you weighed in once a month, you would never see that up and down. You wouldn't see that up and down. So
yeah,
drastic,
and that's what I'm thinking. That's why, and I really I don't weigh like months. I don't even look at it. I don't want to even see the numbers.
So when you said you were up 2 pounds, was that from?
Well, I
when
did
was
it
the
this
last
time, but like I never go on the scale.
No, but before
that, I might have done it like 3 months ago. So it was like 3 pounds from 3 months ago. It was 3 pounds, and then within that week or 8 days, it was 5 pounds lower. So I don't know. Like, do you see that? Do you not? Do I do it every month? Do I just say forget it? Do it every 6 months? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but if they do, they could tell me how they're doing it. Because I know, Lulu, you do it once a month, and now you haven't done it because you're in Florida.
Right. Yeah.
I'm wondering, is it more stable monthly? That, I guess, is the question.
I think it would be, I think you'd see less fluctuations. So like maybe that 3 pound loss really wasn't a loss. Maybe you would just, the gain, the 3 pound gain. Maybe that was more of a water issue. Maybe it was like a retention of water. Maybe it wasn't even, I don't know.
It could have been. I just thought it was crazy because I was so fearful to eat more. And I did, even though it was just fruits and vegetables, but I still wind up losing the weight. So I don't know now. I don't know what to do.
I don't know. Keep eating fruits and vegetables. If you want to lose weight, keep just eating fruits and vegetables. You didn't have anything except fruits and vegetables?
Yeah, no, not really. I think out of the whole week, maybe a tiny piece of chicken out of the whole week because I didn't want anything with all these things all over it because I didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
I didn't want like cheeses and creams and any of that. So I think the one time I had a very small square of chicken and that was it. It was mostly just fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
And maybe a handful of nuts one of the days, but that was it. Nuts, no salt, nothing. Not roasted, just plain. That was it. Because I was concerned because it was just that everything looked just too heavy, too rich in calories for me. And certainly there were cheesecakes and everything. And I wasn't going to have that at all because they were having all of that. And
good for you.
I was definitely not going to be that.
Good for you.
It could be you didn't have protein and you didn't have any grains. So that's probably a good reason why you lost. Could be a reason why you lost weight because you didn't have grains and you didn't have protein. Although you had fruits and vegetables, which is good. So I mean, you were trying to do the best you could.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Now that I think about it, why? Because like the breads were not, Ezekiel bread or whole grain. They were these big loaves of Italian bread. There was like no way I was going to touch any of that. It was big, like things coming in this long and everything. I was like, I'm not going to eat any of that. And croissants and everything. It was like, there's no way. So I absolutely made sure I didn't touch any of that stuff.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. Because again, I wouldn't eat anything that had all these creams and cheeses and things on it. I knew that was out.
So it could be.
It's hard. It's hard when you go away and they're cooking for people and everybody wants the butter and the cream because that's how it tastes good, and they want everybody to be happy, except for the people like all of us that want to eat healthy. And then you have to ask specifically, and sometimes you can do that. Hey, do you have potatoes in the back that haven't been saturated with butter or something along those lines? It's a challenge when you travel, and I'm going to find that out this summer when I do that.
But you're absolutely right. Make sure not to use that because that was readily available. The butters, the creams, the cream cheese, the lox, everything was there. And, you just have to not have it because it's very easy to just graze on by and shove everything in with everyone else. But I felt that. I felt 1,000 times better because I didn't have all that, that heaviness of the heavy foods and all that horrible feeling of the gluten with the breads. So I felt much better.
That's great.
What was really important.
Marissa, can I just ask you one more question? Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly, your goal here is to feel better, not necessarily to lose weight. That's correct, right?
Feel better, eat healthy. Of course, everybody can stand to lose a few pounds. I certainly don't want to put pounds on because, I have a small frame. I really don't want to get bigger. And that's something that happens, especially as women, are in menopause, out of menopause, that happens. So and definitely, and always looking for better menus and better recipes for everybody. But definitely don't mind losing a few pounds because it's always healthier on your joints, your joints, your knees, the inflammation that occurs. Try to get away from all that, because I always believe that sugar, especially refined sugar, is the enemy. It will kill you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I just want to say, perhaps when you got back home and started with your regular, the way that you eat, that's not just fruits and vegetables like you ate at that conference, maybe that a couple of those pounds are back. You know what I mean?
And it could be. So that's why I want to.
But it's better.
Not weigh every.
Yeah, and it's better to just miss all that. You wouldn't have saw the loss, then the gain, then the loss, then the gain. Like you just kind of miss all that, and just get a bigger, the bigger picture. That's a perfect example why I like to weigh once a month, because you can just sit there sometimes and go, why? It makes no sense. How did I was so good and look what happened. And
now, do you weigh the same, like the first of the month, the same time?
The first of the month, upon awakening, after you pee, before you eat anything, naked. Always always the exact same thing. Right when I get up, pee, naked, don't eat or drink one thing.
Right. No variables to change.
No variables, because I don't want to be like, oh, well, those jeans were a little bit heavy when I weighed on, I'm not going to put clothes on. I'm not, oh, I didn't pee. Just.
Thank you.
And then I don't get on a second time. If I pee again, I'll see it next month because it's just pee.
Thank you.
Okay, yep.
True confessions. If I go, I get on again, and if it goes down, I write it down. Just saying.
Okay, can I tell you something, Barb? It's just pee. It's not fat.
Well, sometimes it's not.
There could be melted fat in that pee. There you go.
Yeah.
Next we have Pam. Hi, Pam.
Hi, how's everybody?
Wonderful.
Well, I'm still obsessed with the scale. And I keep telling myself, because I do have to watch with the water pills I take and the other medications that make me retain water, and then it's a complicated thing. However, the more I'm eating better, the less fluctuations I am seeing. Because there are no salty snacks. There's no extra salt. It's just what's in my food. So I really want to convince myself to wean back from weighing myself every day. However, I do understand that my daily fluctuation can be anywhere from 2 to 3 pounds, and it's water generally. So I'm trying to balance that in my head, but I would like to cut back to once a week and see if I can not and be okay with that. But since you and I talked, Lulu, when we had our little discussion, it was February 9th. I looked back because today's your topic was basically what we had been discussing about doing the 80%, the 90%. Since then, I've been going at it 100%. It's a month now. I've lost 5 pounds in the month. However, bigger than that and all the other good numbers that have gone down, I had a woohoo moment Tuesday at the beach. Was sitting on the edge of my van, gonna go put my socks on, which has always been quite a struggle, or it'd have to be positioned just right. Position my leg up on the bed, so I could put the sock on. Well, I could just put my leg right up onto my other knee and put my sock on. And I noticed it. I'm like, wow, that was huge.
You know what I call that?
And
it felt
so good.
Yeah, you know what I call that? I call that a non-scale victory.
Yeah, that made me feel like, because I was feeling a little down about 5 pounds in a month. I want more. Of course we want more. But then when I had that victory, oh my God, that just made me feel really, really good.
I love it.
So even though the scale doesn't always want to budge, I feel so much better, and I have got a month now under my belt of 100%.
Nice.
Nice.
And Pam, 1.25 pounds per week is great.
It really is.
That is like,
yeah.
If you talk to any nutrition, they say 1 to 2 pounds a week tops. I mean, sometimes, especially early on, I know that I saw pretty big numbers early on.
Yeah, bigger numbers.
But 1 to 2 is perfect.
Yeah.
So, and I even say, if I didn't gain anything, let's say I had an even week, that's a victory, because I didn't gain either. That's
right. And so that's a lot of what I'm working on, that it's reminding myself that it's okay for it to be slow. And so I went ahead and looked back for when I really, really started was 8 months ago, even though it wasn't the 100%, but I started in some capacity. And in 8 months, I've lost 43 pounds.
Wow.
So when I look at that, I'm like, yeah, come on, you're doing it. Like, you've never...
Did you say 43?
43 in 8 months.
All right, I'm doing the math. How much...
So, in the beginning, though, there were weeks when it was 4 pounds, and it was so exciting. So, but I have to remember these, I said, the socks.
Yeah, that happens at the beginning. And, so the socks, that's the 43 that's gone. That's why it wasn't just the 5, it was the 43 that is you.
Right.
So that's your story. Your story is that you've lost 43 pounds.
Yeah.
And if you lose a pound a week, that's 52 pounds a year. That's a lot of weight. Okay.
I didn't think of that either. Yeah.
And what are you going to be doing a year from now anyway? Hopefully, still following the food plan.
Still eating it. Yes.
Hopefully.
That's what I want to be. Yes.
Yeah. Whether you're there or not yet, you'll be following
it.
And the only difference is there'll be a few extra bites. I'm telling you, it's not a heck of a lot more. That just stops the weight loss. And so it's like, it's not like, oh, I want this over with so I can get back into the potato chips and the ice cream
it is.
again.
It's working.
Yeah, it's
on
working.
That changing the mindset.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing fine with the types of foods, the veg, like all of that is fine.
Yeah.
I have my weeks when I have digestive issues, and I've been working on soups and different things. But I've been not going off of the plan. Yeah. If anything, I eat less. There are days when I have to eat a lot less, and I can't eat the raw vegetables.
Yeah, if you can't have a salad
I cook them
in the
into
raw,
soups, and I eat them in
everything.
soups. That's it.
Just have the cooked veggies, and if that's better on your digestive, there's nothing wrong if you had cooked for lunch and dinner every day for a year. It's not like you have to have salads if they don't agree with you, you know?
Yeah, I just love them.
I know. I love them too.
But yeah, so give it, it's really good. I feel really good right now. Thank you.
Good. I think Barb has some.
Oh my gosh,
I think Barb has some data for you. Barb has some data.
43 pounds in 8 months is 5.37 pounds per month. It's about 1 pound a week.
A pound a week.
Like you're doing right now. That is perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you're doing it, Pam. You're living it. And now you just keep doing it, and it's just a matter of time.
Yes.
And you're going to get there.
Yeah,
you're going to get there.
You.
It's just a matter of having the time go because, I used to project out, okay, well, if I lose a pound a week, then on this day I should be at my goal weight. And I was within 2 weeks. It took me about 2 to 3 weeks longer, which is fine because as you get closer, you start losing less and less, right? Because you don't need to lose it. But you're doing fantastic. Now it's just a matter of time. Just keep doing it. It's a lifestyle now. You've got this.
You got this, Pam.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Okay, Nicole, you're next.
Yeah, here we go again. I just, I was thinking about how, one of the things, Lulu, you told me when I emailed you quite a while ago was, you're never done. So I think, we just grow up and we want to lose weight or whatever. We realize we need to lose weight and we just think, when it's done, And I used to write things like I'd say, well, I need to lose 100 pounds. So that's 10 pounds a month. I'd write out every single month and do the math, this time out. And then I'd even put in a couple of months where I wouldn't be sure I could lose 10 pounds a month, like Christmas. And then I would I have notebooks full of these stupid lists of the months. And, and I never lost weight and kept it off, So I think just surrendering and letting the dominoes fall, like one by one. First, when I decided, yes, this sounds like something I should do and I want to do and I could do. And then the little domino would stand up like, but what about your nighttime snack? You need that banana before bed or, I just couldn't imagine giving it up. And it's like, no, I need to surrender that and just let it fall. So this group gave me ideas. Barb, you gave the idea about tea at night, herbal tea. That helped me through that. And then it was, how can I eat all these veggies twice a day? I can do it at dinner, but lunch. And it's like, just let that domino fall and do it. And it's not about, you're exactly right, Lulu. It isn't about, because, I have no problem if you're going to give me a bowl of ice cream. I could eat the whole carton. And I wouldn't say, this is too much. Take it away. You're crazy. But if it's broccoli, I'm like, but I let that domino
It's so
fall.
funny like that. Yeah.
Yes. It's like, don't tell yourself a story that isn't the truth.
Right.
And that's what I appreciate is the truth you've said. You didn't say, you said the truth. You said, it'll be hard at first, and then you'll have peace and calm. And that's true. So I just encourage you, if you're struggling, thinking, there's a gal I'm Facebook friends with that's working out all the time, and she's publicly says a lot of things like, I gave up on myself, but I'm going to do it this time. And she's a lot younger, and I'm going to send her the links, but I just want her to know the truth. The truth is, you can't eat sugar and cake and crap and work your butt off and be healthy. You can't work out. You can't work out the bad stuff you're putting in. And I don't want to preach at her or anything, but I just want her, I want someone, and I want to be the one to tell her the truth, like Lulu, like you told us, the exact truth of what it is. So, I think being willing to ride the wave of weight loss, someone in the group said that they had lost 21 pounds and they put cans in a box and, how heavy that was. And so I just commented back that my husband brought me his 25-pound weight because I've lost 26 so far. And he's like, feel how heavy this is. And it's like, if I had to carry that around, I would be complaining. Yeah. And I'm like, I've been carrying it around, and my body's been complaining, but I haven't been paying attention up until, several months ago. So, and just knowing that I have a lot of more 25-pound chunks to go, but that it's just a matter of time, and how that unfolds is going to be okay. I don't have to be in a hurry anymore. I already have the peace. I already have like the knowledge that it's going to happen. And when it's done happening, I got to stabilize it and continue on doing the same. I'm not waiting for something to be over so I can start doing something different. So yeah, those words are really good. And I guess I would just say, you know, one of the things about weighing, I'm kind of a rule follower, like, especially if I'm ready to give up what hasn't been working. I'm like, okay, I'm following this. So I only weigh once a month, even though I want to weigh more. But I do know that there are some apps that if you get an electronic scale, you can weigh, and it sends your weight to like a file. And I haven't done it yet, but you don't have to look. You can get on the scale. You don't look, you know, and then at the end of the month, you can print out all the hoo-ha that went on all month that you weren't, you know, paying attention to, so that you can keep your mind straight, you know, if you need that, Barb.
Yeah.
What's cracking me up is somebody actually invented that because they know how crazy we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there in case, you know, you really needed to weigh more than once a month and you weren't going to make yourself not. But I feel proud, like I can actually make myself accountable, you know, to do what's right for me. And, you know, the other thing is when you're gaining weight, you don't get on the scale every day. Like, oh, let's see the damage I did yesterday, you know, let's see if the donuts show up. You just think, no, you don't want to look. And then you think, oh my gosh, I've got to go to the doctor. I have to get on the scale. And then you're like, oh, it's terrible. You know, how did this happen? You know, your clothes are tight and everything else. But, so you don't have to get on every day when you're gaining weight. So, you know, I just encourage you, if it's upsetting you, you know, or you're really hooked into the number. But the journey has really been beautiful so far. Like I said before, I think of you guys all during the week, that we're all accomplishing something with ourselves, like private moments, sharing moments. But your faces mean a lot to me. Your friendships mean a lot to me. And I feel like it's incredible that we can share like this and carry each other through the week, knowing we're all doing our thing and we're going to share any struggles and successes. So thank you guys.
Oh, that's beautiful, Nicole. It's always nice to see you. And you know, like
I'm going to look for that scale, Nicole, now. So
that you're going to look for that app.
Not too expensive.
I'll look too and try to send it to you. You could wean yourself off.
But I would need a Bluetooth scale, right? Like I have to be able to, Yeah. So see now? You just probably cost me $100.
I'm sorry. I'll try to make it up.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. It's a psychological thing. If I don't weigh myself, I feel like I'm going to gain weight. And so it's almost like a relief. It's a relief for me when I get to Monday and I go, yep, she's still the same. Good. So I think I'll get there. But
I think you'll get there.
If I don't,
I think you'll get there, Bob.
Yeah, I'll get there.
I think you'll get there because you're going to see it over and over and over, and then you're going to be like, I don't have to think like that. I don't have to think that I've gained weight, because how many times do I have to see that I didn't, and I'm doing the same thing, you know?
Yeah. It's all right.
And you know, like,
it's a small part of it.
One thing I wanted to say, like when Nicole was saying about the peace and stuff, by following this and how it doesn't end, you know, like, I love that it doesn't end, because you know, like, people, you know, look at me like I'm crazy because I'm not overweight, and I'm measuring all my food, and I make no exceptions, and they just say, like, you know, that's just very restrictive life, you know, and they just think like I'm just not living, you know. They have like no idea how much I was not living before. I always say, like, what appears to be very restrictive is just nothing short of total freedom. It's absolutely the opposite of what it looks like. You know, it just looks like it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't even want it. You know, the two women that I'm traveling with, they don't want to go to restaurants either, and they're not drinkers either, and you know, they don't eat like me. Nobody has to eat like me. Doesn't even matter, you know. But they eat when they eat. I eat when I eat. We don't eat together. We're always together, but one of us is eating, two of us aren't, you know. We don't really time it to eat together because it really doesn't matter. All we're doing is just fueling ourselves, and we just need it at different times. And mine's very regimented, theirs is not. And it's just, you can just get along in this world eating like this and living like this, if you want to, if you really want to. Because if you don't want to, you'll find all the reasons why you can't. And it's just not going to work. I can't do this because my husband likes to go to restaurants. I can't do this because it's Christmas. Or I can't, you know. Or you say, I can do this. I can do this, and then you manage it. You manage all your options as you go through life, being true to what you're really choosing. This is what I want. One of the gals here and we were talking about doing some international travel perhaps next year, and I would really enjoy doing that. My only concern is food. How would I do that? How would I backpack in Europe for 3 months? Like, where am I going to put a 16-ounce salad? Everything I have is on my back, you know? I can't grocery shop. I don't even have a dish. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's possible for me. But if it's not, so what? Because this is more important than because there's other travel and I do that I love, you know? So I always make sure whatever I'm choosing fits with what I need to do for, really, it just brings me the true joy. This brings me more joy than a 3-month trip to Europe would ever do for me. That's just an adventure. This is joy, you know. So anyway, let's see, who do we have next? We have Nyla. Hi, Nyla.
Hello.
Hi,
Lulu. Hi.
Nyla.
We watch you all the time in this house. So
Oh, good.
It's a pleasure to. Yes, it's a pleasure to. I think I emailed you a while back, and you were so lovingly responded. So, but I'm so grateful to be here, Lulu, and with you guys and Barb, and all the ladies. I've been in a sugar, wheat, and flour free plan since like '92. This is like not my first, you know. That's my food plan, sugar, wheat, and flour free. But I really appreciate you bringing this to the table and making this available for not just for me, but for all people that are interested in this way of life. Because doing it for quite a few years, you know, I think I know a few things, and then things start to change a little bit over the years, and I found myself doing more like control eating certain things. And when I saw you bringing this back up, it reminded me I needed to get back to the basics of what you reminded me of that. So with the food plan that you have, and I looked everything over, it's very similar to how I eat and everything. I just turned 59, and my body's changing. And so I'm in a position right now where I'm trying to find where my balance is, because I'm, so once in a while I have a digestive thing and it can just throw me off, like I totally relate to exactly everything you're saying as far as that peace of mind, knowing that that's done. I don't need, that doesn't have to obsess in my brain. I know that feeling. And it's just, I'm taking it a moment at a time, a day at a time. And I try not to, worry about it. In other words, as long as I'm eating what I consider clean and not putting any sugar or flour or wheat in my body, My brain usually does much better with that, but I'm still having to find my balance, like especially with breakfast. It looks different. Like I used to be able to do dairy. Dairy doesn't, got an issue with dairy, so things have been changing, and I've been, so it's been helpful to look over what you're doing, and it's been very inspirational. I did want to add that to share with everybody too, if this helps, is food. I come from an Italian family. I think you're Italian, aren't you, Lulu?
Yes.
Okay. So, and food was love, and that's how we communicated. And so I was programmed, that. So when one of the ladies was sharing about all that bread, I was like, oh, it's like I know all that. But I'll tell you that what happened for me over the years, it started to become a form of abandonment when I would sell out to the food, and the relationship I was having with myself. And I was okay. I have a statement that says, when the pain of leaving myself became more so than the pain of being okay with leaving myself with food, because that's what it represented for me, if anybody can relate. And even though the weight loss is for health reasons, but also for head reasons, but for the right motives for me, because if I'm still stuck to the outside of myself, even if I'm eating clean, I'm still stuck to the outside of myself. And I'm now, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really in it for me, for the honest reasons. And I'm still, like somebody was sharing, this is like a process. It's not like you're done, right? So I just wanted to share, if it makes any sense, that it used to be comfort. It used to be how I used to take the edge off with emotions, even whether I felt good or whether I felt anything, I would use that. I too, no alcohol, been sober for almost 32 years, but it really is a daily, because my brain can convince me I can still go back and do things and pick stuff up and bargain. And it always comes back to, like what you were saying, the peace. How are you feeling? Taking that inventory of where my motives are, So the pain of leaving myself became greater than the pain of being okay with leaving myself, because for years I left myself. And that's what food represented for me. And so I didn't realize that until I hit a bottom on that. I was like, oh my God, I'm like really using this for other motives that I didn't realize I was using them for, aside from just knowing, growing up in an Italian family where food was love and that's how we communicate. I still have to be careful with that, because I still want to love people with food, even if it's food I don't eat, you know what I mean? So I don't want to take up too much time. I just appreciate everybody here. I'm glad you're doing this. I think this is fantastic, Lulu, fantastic. And I need to be here. And I know I'm going to learn something. And for today, I don't need to leave myself, and I'll just end by saying that I really had to work on, there was more of a person thing of my self-worth and feeling deserving, that this was self-love and self-care and not self-deprivation. Right. Like the whole perception had to change, and it took time, but it's like, as some people might have heard other places, stick around until the miracle happens. Because I know for me, that switch, it comes, and how worth it. And I don't like to speak in we, but I'd like to say we are all worth it. Yeah. To stick around for that switch, and that's to get that peace of mind and that release of not being attached to the food for whatever reason, So anyway, that's all I got. I didn't want to take up more time. Thank you for.
Oh, thank you, Natalie. That was awesome.
Thank you so much for telling us.
Yeah, I know what you mean with that switch. When you get that switch and you're in the zone, right? It's so easy, but it's so easy to lose that switch too. And I think for me, it was because I never got rid of the things that caused all the pain: the sugar, the wheat, the dairy, and the processed foods. And with them gone, it's so much easier. So
yeah.
Thank you.
I love when you talked about, like, leaving yourself like that, because it made me think how, like, that's what comfort food is for. Those comfort foods. It's kind of like it's to make me comfortable, and it's just like, that's definitely leaving yourself, because there's so much comfort to give yourself that has nothing to do with food, just to sit and think pleasant thoughts, and just to the peace, like you said, like it all comes down to just feeling peaceful. And
can I say one thing, Lulu,
yes.
real quick?
Yeah.
Is when you said about the comfort, is that what happened for me is that it started, those feeling of comfort got shorter and shorter and shorter. So every time when I went for that ice cream, by the third spoonful, eventually got to the point where I couldn't even get through the whole pint without the remorse and the guilt and all of the bad feelings starting to come behind it. That was just my experience with the food. Yeah. So like, that's what started to happen. And it was like, it was miserable. It was like, it wasn't even giving me what I was looking for that I thought it would give me, like a friend, the comfort. It was all false.
Yeah.
It was false. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Lulu, you know what that sounds like?
What?
What Nyla just said was, is this your first week, Nyla?
My first time on with you guys, yeah.
Yeah, great. We're so happy you're here. And she doesn't know this, but she just described your circle of addiction.
Circle of
right? It's in the file section. I don't know if you've seen it or not, Nyla. But you just described exactly. We had a whole Zoom on that, on the circle of addiction, and
that cycle of overeating.
You can. It's like, what's that?
The cycle of overeating that we
Yeah. Sounds like what she was just describing.
And I can relate to you with the Italian and the food is love, and how I can still use, like, my son, he loves like my eggplant parmesan, and I can make a mean dish of that, and I enjoy making it for him. And then I watch him eat it like a normal person. Like he just eats he just has like a small plate of it. And I'm just like, how do you not eat half of the pan? And I think to myself, but that's why he eats it and I don't, I just would never be satisfied with the amount that he eats. Just would never be satisfied with that.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Nyla. Yep. I'm glad you're here. Kathy.
Let me unmute myself here.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, ladies. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, too.
I don't have a whole lot to say. I just want to mention a victory that I had, and that was today. Some friends in the community here got together for a dessert social, and there was so many lovely desserts. And being a sugarholic, I did not touch nothing. I took something, but I didn't touch it. So, yeah. And you know what was crazy is that I wasn't obsessing about it. I wasn't like wanting to go in there and just devour it. I just didn't even really want it. So that was just my little victory today.
That's a big victory, Kathy.
It is. It's great.
That's a big victory.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. And welcome, Nyla. Thanks for that. That's it, Lulu. That's all I wanted to say.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
May I share something, Lulu?
Yep.
So, it's kind of a little bit off topic, but it happened last night. Birthday dinner with friends. All our birthdays are in the same month, so we go out to dinner. And I don't know if anybody's been out to dinner yet, but I always get a salad with a grilled protein, generally chicken. And when you get the salad, you have lettuce, maybe a couple tomatoes, maybe an onion, and a carrot. But there's no substance. Where's all our vegetables? You know what I mean? It's not how we all eat, right? Or we're all choosing to eat. And so Lulu taught me this, and so that's why I want to share it today, because it just happened yesterday. So I pay for the meal, right? I get everything that I can on the salad, and I get my protein. And then in a little baggie in my purse, I have extra vegetables and avocado. And after I get my meal, and I wait for the waitress to leave, I dump it on, put my dressing on that I bring, because I make my own homemade dressing. And then I cut it up real quick so that if she comes back to the table, she's not going to really be able to tell that I've added to this dish. But it's so much better because when I was going to dinner and not bringing the extra vegetables that I needed, I'd come home and I'd be, by 2:00 in the morning, I just didn't have enough to eat to get me through the night. And it was, I didn't eat, but I wasn't comfortable and I was awake. And so then I'm losing my sleep. So anyway, if you're going to go out to dinner and you're going to get that salad with the protein on it so that we can at least do the best that we can do, bring extra vegetables and just throw them on there and then, enjoy it.
Yeah, and another option in restaurants is, because they're really stingy with the veggies, is to go to the side orders on a menu. If you see the order of sides, a lot of times you'll see vegetable of the day, steamed broccoli, grilled asparagus, and even those are tiny. So I'll be like, I'll have the salad and I'll have 4 orders of broccoli.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can bring me 4 separate plates or you can put it all in one plate, but you got to understand what I'm saying. I want a lot of veggies. So
yeah. So this place didn't have any, and
No
I'm glad
sides?
you brought that up. This place did not have any side veggie. They had coleslaw and fries, sweet potato fries, but they didn't have any. It's a pub, right?
Yeah.
So
with a pub, forget it.
So I didn't feel bad about bringing them because I couldn't get them. I couldn't buy them if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So
I've brought I've brought food. Yep. I've in zip bags.
And if you need to, ladies, and if there's any men here, work with your, maybe you could bring one too. I usually have a little bag, a little purse that I bring that just holds like my keys and my wallet. But when I go to a restaurant, I pick out the big bag, take the keys in the wallet, put it in the big bag, and then all the food goes in there. and Marissa, this was Lulu's idea. So if I go to jail, she's got to pay my bail. That's all I'm going to say.
I did that. I brought that to another country. Remember, I brought it into Mexico. I crossed the border I was smuggling in food in a Ziploc bag because I was like, I don't know what they have to eat over there, and I just assume it's nothing that I'm interested in. And I was like, I need a meal, and I wasn't going to bring like a plate and everything, but I brought I just ate it right out of the Ziploc bag. I had a complete meal in a large Ziploc bag in my purse, crossed the border with my passport. And I made it through. And actually he goes, open your purse. And I was like, oh shit. And so I unzipped it, and he just went, you could see the top of the Ziploc because it was the only thing in the bag, really, right? And you could see the top of the Ziploc, but he didn't think like, what's that, and I think he was just told me to do it because he has to.
Through the motions.
You're going through the motions, yeah. And he just kind of went like that, and I was just like, I was thinking, don't take my veggies, please, because I'm going to have to turn around. I would have just turned around.
Yeah. Want to finish up with Candace?
Yes. Hi, Candace.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hi, Candace.
I just had to tell you one little thing. I don't know if it's clairvoyance or doing this is becoming a habit, but beautiful day. I'm sitting out in my lounge chair, reading a book, soaking in the sun, and all of a sudden, Lulu, I hear your voice, and I jump up and come in. It's 3:05. I need to get to the meeting, so it's in there. One thing too, I just wanted to say, using gadgets. I've been wearing a Fitbit for years, ever since they first came out, and I have horrible pain in my wrist all the time. And I looked up on the website, and then Fitbit swears up and down that it doesn't cause carpal tunnel in your wrist. But I took it off last night in bed because my wrist was just killing me, and it hasn't hurt all day. So there's something to be said. And one of the reasons I took it off too was it doesn't change. I know how much I walk because I've been doing it for so many years. It's always about the same. I don't need it for that. And I just become obsessed with putting my weight in every day. I weigh and put it in Fitbit. It tells me my averages. But I spend an hour every morning kind of just going through all the things in that. And I thought, well, that's a waste of time. So I've started not doing that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm
leaving my phone in a different room that I'm in just so I don't get on and start shopping. I have a blood sugar meter that I worry about carrying around with me everywhere, but I found that if your blood sugar is fluctuating too much, it has this really loud, warning signal that I hear anywhere in the house. So I'm trying to let go of all the things that keep us involved. And Barb, I know that I'm a dad person too. So all the things that keep me, shuffling numbers and trying to manipulate this. And well, how much more of this do I have to do to get this result? So along with the scale, I'm not going to weigh every day anymore. I'm just going to put it away. I'm not going to use my Fitbit. I'm going to see if that brings me some more peace, to not be I'm so in tune with my body, and so I'm self-observant with my body all the time, and I know what's going on in it. But I like those outside things to help me. Is this something I'm really feeling, or is something else? And I think that by not doing that, it will take a lot of stress out of my life than providing information into my life. So
that's great, Candace. Excellent. Barb, do you have a
That's really good,
do you
Candace.
have a Fitbit, Miss Data Girl?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't have a Fitbit. I have a Garmin. It takes all my data, tells me how far I walk, tells me how many calories I burn, tells me blah, 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 blah. I don't believe the calorie burn. I don't believe. I never have, because it's like, I go for a bike ride, it says I burned 1,000 calories. Well, if that was true, I would be like, a rail, right? So I just don't believe it all. But I do have a lot of data. I keep track of how much I bike, only because, not because for weight reasons, but because I just want to see how many miles I can ride in a month, or how many miles I can ride in a year, just because I love riding. So it's just and everything's graphed, Lulu.
Oh, well,
it's
of
all in a
course.
graph. It's all in an Excel spreadsheet. Candace, am I preaching to the choir down there?
Yep, you are.
Yeah, I was a scientist. What can I say?
I know.
I might have retired 5 years ago, but I just can't get rid of it. So
I think what I've decided to do is I have a pedometer. So if I really want to go out and take a walk and see how far I went, I'll just put the pedometer on. It's a simple tool that I don't have on all the time, and I'll try that if I really want to know.
Yeah.
But I know average wise, from looking at my steps and mileage and everything else in the last 5 years, I walk about 1.5 miles a day just around the house doing stuff. If I actually want to go for a walk, I can do that with the pedometer. So if I really want to measure it, but why do I even want to measure it?
Yeah.
I may not even want to do that.
Yeah, just enjoy the walk.
We joke that if you don't measure it, you didn't do it. That's a funny joke we used to. But here's the thing: if you don't want to wear your Fitbit, if you feel like it's causing you to have wrist pains, and I'm guessing if you do go for a walk, you bring your phone just in case, right, for emergencies, right? There's an app called what is it called?
I have Map My Walk. Do you do that one?
Map My Walk. Yeah, Map My Walk. Thank you. Yeah, Map My Walk, Map My Run, Map My Everything. And they're all connected. So if you do Map My Walk and you also do MyFitnessPal, which is really good for understanding like how much nutrition is and stuff, if that's interesting to you. They all connect. So you have one, you just link them all. And then, so like when I use MyFitnessPal for my weight, so I'll put it in there, and that goes to Garmin. And so Garmin knows my weight, and then I know, too much information. Sorry,
I like my little piece of paper.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said for that, Pam.
Yeah.
Don't be in my brain. That's all I'm saying.
It's a busy place.
You see how often I went on a tangent on that.
I tried to use those apps. I got more frustrated trying to do that, and it made me eat more. So
no. Don't go down that road. Well, that's why when Nicole said, "Oh, get the scale and it will put the data in for you," I'm like,
You're
Ding, 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 ding,
something
ding.
else that's connected to my life.
I want to tell you, Candace and Barb and any others, my husband is a programmer and he has his favorite shirt says "Talk Data" to me.
Yeah,
that's cute.
You guys need that shirt.
Yeah.
I do need that shirt.